Eya nguvu zeninda na nangura chiro Oje boze tulive na kuya lelo Jevyo bayevi Amita pendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoto Kula kuibukisha Kanate pochimo Wimbo watemenu wakatongi Awazunga wajita katongi Nakula kuibukisha kateka Kaibuku muna kapona Neseko siove pamenso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba Iyaba ume Iyaba ume
Kateka wa wantu Twakulila Lelo twakulila Shika kukonke milimo shove Eti kume mo kulondolo la vale Lilo wingi
Iseko wingi mwakwete Iseko wingi mwakwete Mwaya Mwaya Mwende wino tata wesu
Katushi muchi mokege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatuja tuleli lake Ukula bevyo wati dobuingi Ibisebo wapagiri obuingi Ukuchinjo lusako kumoneko busaka Mama Kutituwa na basiyani Chagwa katuse
Chafinisha ichichena chafina Chafina ichichena chafina Chafinisha ichichena chafina Aya ifumu ya bebe Awena ila lotu Yaya Mungu la lotu We mushiri Ala wabina wengi Na panchipatarara Iwe wabina wengi Na panchipatarara Noma boy bintu binyichi Mwasala kusi Aseo tulila Adada mulale muchimote Chena chakalipa Wakulekela we mwine Ututule we fumu Wengi watusha Ichi chena chafinisha Wakulekela we mwine Ututule we futule Ututule we futule
na kila kumushini umwejilinga wenkondo halume ya jabo aponye mfuti yawe aya wendo mutende wenda wayimikina tukesa umana
wengi baya ichichena chakalika wakulekela we mwine ututule wefumu wengi wotusha ichichena chafinisha wakulekela we mwine ututule wefumu wakulekela we mwine ichichena chafina wena chakulisha tutule wakulekela we mwine ichichena chakalika wakulekela we mwine ule wefumu wengi wotusha ichichena chafinisha wakulekela we mwine ule wefumu.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to the people of Zambia. It is very important that sometimes we behave like human beings, even when we know that what we are doing is not correct. I am responding to a long write-up by Dr. Nevas Mumba. I read it first, I've read it second time, and I have read it the third time. He raises a lot of moral issues and state obligations. But I want to say this. What is so painful is trying to align the family as the root cause of these problems. The first question, and the decent question one will ask, how much leverage people like Nevas Mumba, Enoch Kavindele, Leslie Mbula, have they exerted on President Hakainde Hichilema to resolve this matter in the best national interest? How much are they putting in to close the divide? Because they are trying to acquit President Hakainde Hichilema. And conveniently, President Hakainde Hichilema is not commenting on the funeral, but he has unleashed attack dogs to vilify the family in the most unfair manner. The media and certain individuals who have been hired on social media, but they don't want to open up and explain what has led to this impasse. Is it just that the family of Edgar Chagwalungu is unreasonable, and best to say they are a rogue family? Is that true? This problem we face today has a genesis of arrogance and the abuse of state power. ECL has died a very sad man. And the reason is simple, and that's why they are all hiding and using fronts. The president from day one when ECL lost the election, he thought and he convinced himself that the people of Zambia voted out ECL because they hated him.
Yes, my brother.
And that has proved not to be true. Because the strongest critics of ECL while he was in power,
just click on it,
and those who supported President Hakainde Hichilema to assume the presidency against all odds, have all
you can come out and
gone back
and
reconciled with ECL before he died. Everybody had a chance to go and show that, Mr. President, we didn't hate you. We didn't like the way you are running the country.
To that Wi-Fi that is there.
This grouping of individuals who resisted ECL,
try that one,
led by Simon Zukas, the late, may he so rest in peace, Emeritus Archbishop Mpundu, they made peace with ECL. And they showed to him that when they opposed him, it was not a personal issue. It was a matter of national interest. John Sangwa, a strong critic, mended up fences with ECL while he was alive. Brebna Changala, I reconciled.
We want to set a precedent. Let them give us reasons why the current president should not go near the casket. And who has told them that he wants to be near the casket anyway? Who has told them that he wants to be near the casket? If they want to say he shouldn't see the body, but who has told them that he wants to see the body? Why these speculations?
Maybe it's because you're arguing that really this must happen. Maybe that's why
it's assumptions. Even the court was asking them, presiding. The court was asking. Their lawyer couldn't explain. Presiding. You yourselves, in your written notes, you were saying Bishop Arik Banda should preside. So why are you now saying the president will preside? You yourselves. So what is presiding? They couldn't explain what presiding is.
He was not just a citizen. He was a head of state. And if somebody says there were issues, yes, there are always issues. But in death, we converge to honor the dead, to bury them decently for the president with all the honors, military honors. After the burial, we talk about anything we're unhappy about. He was not just a citizen. He was a head of state. And if somebody says there were issues, yes, there are always issues. But in death, we converge to honor the dead, to bury them decently for the president with all the honors, military honors. After the burial, we talk about anything we're unhappy about.
How can you allow somebody who has murdered your son or your daughter and you are still mourning to come and attend the funeral and we were to speak at the funeral?
But how good your son
was. And you know about it, you say, wait a minute, what's happening? And I think I can just say the whole thing I summed it up when I spoke to one guy. I said, "She wupuba nangu mliuno mulo shi nangu pinshi," because how can you, Ambassador? The party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen, to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president? When you stripped me of these things, please go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says,
Tuesday, the day that the Lord has made, Tuesday, August 12, hosting Golden Party President, my dear brother, Jackson Silavweon. I've hosted him on the Conversation podcast, and for the part of his life, part of his making, how he formed the party, how he is formed, his life, his family, you can find that on the Conversation podcast. Today, we'll just deal with the issues, the state of the nation, and the state today. So thank you very much for joining us. I can see my dear brother, good you are here. And thank you for making it at short notice. I've been looking for you, Mr. President, and you were in China, then you at the funeral. It has been quite difficult to catch you, but I'm glad that today you made time and you've made it to today's broadcast. Mr. Silavweon, welcome to today's broadcast.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador, for having me. It's a pleasure always being interviewed by such an eminent person like you in our country, service, and it's just an honor to be interviewed by you. Thank you very much. Yes, it's been quite a difficult period for myself and my family, but we are more than conquerors. We are overcomers. Thank you.
My condolences. You were supposed to be with us on Thursday, but you were unable to join us because you were in bereavement and you were hosting a funeral. My condolences. But you've also been busy. I noticed you were in China. What did you learn from China?
Yes. Well, Ambassador, I learned quite a lot. First of all, I'm very grateful. Maybe even the people that hosted me may be watching this program because your program has gone quite viral. You will be surprised from sources where I've been getting comments from that you need to be hosted by your brother, Emmanuel. So I told them, no, please just wait. I was hosted very well. Had quite a few meetings. One of the things that struck me as I was heading out of that meeting, a gentleman came, obviously busy, and apologized that he was supposed to be part of the meeting. So we walked outside with the gentleman. And then one of my people that were guiding me actually whispered to me that the entire complex where we were standing on actually belonged to the same gentleman. Now, what interested me, Ambassador, is not a complex of shops. It was a complex of skyscrapers owned by a Chinese person. And for me, it to what is currently happening here in Zambia. In Zambia, you are pursued for building a 3-bedroom house because you held political position. This is a citizen in China, an ordinary citizen who owns a complex of 5 skyscrapers, buildings. And I mean, for me, that just touched me. I think we need to do quite a lot as a country. One of also the other examples I would give is something that we posted on Facebook with my team, is a level of maintenance. I remember I traveled to different parts of the province where I was, and I noticed that there were no potholes on the road. So I asked my driver, said, "What is happening? You don't have potholes?" And he laughed and he says, "Of course we do have potholes, but we have got such an efficient level of maintenance that if we see a crack on the road, we immediately attack it, because we understand that roads contribute to the economy of our country." And from that day, I bit of workers on the road, those doing the grass, tending the flowers, cleaning the same concrete roads and what and what. I mean, it was just amazing. And then the level of order, ambassador, is amazing. The level of order in China, if you look on the road, you have got lanes for what we call, Amahonda Kuno, what is supposed to be on the road. I mean, it was just refreshing. I think we have got a lot to learn from our Chinese colleagues. That is a serious superpower. And it's unfortunate that Western media has painted a certain picture about China. I think for developing countries, and I speak as a student of development, Ambassador, we've spoken before. I am a student of development. My major is development studies. I think we have got a lot to learn as a country which is emerging, now we have been classified. Again, we have been classified of being poor, Ambassador. I think we have got a lot to learn from our Chinese colleagues, how they've lifted up people out of poverty. I mean, it's a kind of, as I see a vendor, not even one. Imagine that level is something I learned from. Really, I fell in love, and I must say that I fell in love.
We seem to have poor internet and poor connections. I hope it stabilizes as we make those preliminary discussions. China is an impressive country. It has managed to lift up to 700 million people out of poverty and push them to a middle class. Then there's been wealth creation by enterprising citizens, where it has now one of the highest numbers of billionaires other than the United States. The other billionaires are in China. So it is an impressive country to learn from and see how they did it in a lifetime, in one generation. And I'm glad that you picked some cues from there. The internet is a bit unstable, but I think it will stabilize. I don't know where the issue is. But let's go on. Honorable Silavweon, you are involved.
I can get you loud and clear.
It is loud and clear. Good.
Yes.
You formed your party, the Golden Party. You have been at it. You've participated in elections. You have participated in opposition unity. You are currently in the United Kwacha Alliance, and we'll be discussing that further. But before we go there, just give us a picture, paint for us a picture of the state of our country.
Well, what is happening in our country? My apologies, I've just lost. Okay. What is happening in our country, Ambassador, without fear or favor, without even any form of biasness, and leaving politics aside, is extremely alarming. You've rightfully said that I have played a very small part in the recent events involving our country. My joining in politics, coming into active politics in the year 2015, when I decided, prior to that, I was part of the Heritage Party of General and I worked closely with him. And like I've consistently said, he's the only man I can rightfully say that he's been a political mentor to me, because we shared quite a lot in my little office, at his office, the Heritage Party Secretariat in Kabwata when it was there. We shared quite a lot. I got to learn a lot from him, a lot of ins and outs of government, including the man that you passionately served, Dr. Chiluba, the history of our country, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, the UNIP era, all the way to the Manawasa realm. And so I had that kind of a background when I came actively into politics in 2015 and eventually formed the Golden Party of Zambia in 2016. And rightly in 2017, my colleagues in the political setup gave me the privilege, elected me as their chairperson. I know you are very vested in how ZCID, the Zambia Center for Inter-Party Dialogue, is structured. You have a chairperson for political parties outside parliament. So there are quite a lot. As you know, for example, right now, only 3 political parties are in parliament plus independents. So for us, the ZCID is a platform for interaction among us political parties on pivotal issues. And it's actually quite alarming that the ruling party is not utilizing that platform to gain consensus. Because most of the colleagues, even you, when you were in government, we had a lot of interactions under ZCID. So first, not to go into there, but I was elected chairperson, and therefore I began to sit on the board. 2 years later, my colleagues gave me the privilege, not only of being now chairperson of ZCID for political parties outside parliament. Now I became chairperson for the entire institution. That is political parties in parliament, political parties also outside parliament. And I played quite an important role in the last year elections, together with the church, chairing myself, ZCID chairing, as well as also the church. We convened the biggest platform, a peace conference, where we compelled political parties, including then the ruling party, biggest opposition political party then, led by President Hakainde Hichilema. We compelled them to sign a peace pledge so that the elections can be held under a peaceful atmosphere. Regrettably, I'll keep on saying this. I said this the other time you interviewed me, and I'll repeat it. Regrettably, we had a loss of life. In a brutal way, Jackson Congo, a chairperson for Patriotic Front in the Northwestern Province, that was brutal. It's something that I think about. It's something that is close to my heart, because I really played a big role in the background to ensure that we have a peaceful election. Of course, I was not alone. We were supported by the Commonwealth. We were also supported by the UNDP, and I'm grateful to them for the support that they rendered in the background. We had discussions at the highest level, the presidents, President Edgar Lungu then, President Hakainde Hichilema of UPND then, and we were grateful that when we had that function at Mulungushi Conference Center, they came through. I've also participated in formulating certain laws. You are aware that we've got the law that has never seen the light of day, which is the Public Order Act, the repeal, and coming up with the law. I played a very significant role in that as well. I was also played in major roles in policy issues that political parties were consulted on. So I've got a bit of experience in how the governance of our country is conducted, because also I've continued to interact with colleagues. So really, Ambassador, if you look at the current political setup right now, these are colleagues that I've interacted with. I've interacted with President Hakainde Hichilema. We've bashed heads on certain matters. We've disagreed on certain matters. I've bashed heads with the late President Edgar Lungu, may he so rest in peace. I've had meetings with him, both public and private, when he was president and outside office. I've interacted with you. I've interacted with a number of senior colleagues in our country. I've interacted with some freedom fighters as well. The state of our country right now is worrying for me, and I don't want to miss any words. And this has got nothing to do with because I'm a member of the Golden Party of Zambia, or I'm a president of a political party. If you are right thinking and you think very well and you are in your right frame of mind, you will agree that the direction that this country has taken is extremely worrying. In our recent history, this country has been the most divided since the independence of our country. The levels of intolerance in this country have gone to astronomical levels. For the first time, at least in my living memory, and it begins also my political living memory, and it starts during the dispensation of Dr. Fred Chiluba, Dr. Frederick Titus Chiluba, whom I continue to love even in death. He's a president we grew up with under. He's the one we wrote the exam about. Remember the famous questions, who is the president of Zambia? For me, then it was Dr. Frederick Chiluba. If you look at what is happening in our country, is extremely worrying. I never thought, and I want to say this very clear, and others may try to belittle the contributions that we have made, but you, Ambassador, you know the contribution we've made to our nation behind the curtains. I can safely say that I never thought I would live to a time where I would see my fellow Zambians be in exile like yourself. And it's something. There was a night that I texted you. You took a bit of time to respond. That night you were heavy on my thought. I was thinking about your family, what you are going through. As a Zambian, not even as a politician. I was thinking about your dear wife. I was thinking about your beloved Jaden. And that night I sent you a text. I said, how are you? It wasn't from without. I was concerned. I never thought that I would see someone running away from the country because of what they have spoken about. And these matters are so little. And we have weaponized institutions to follow up citizens that have contributed immensely to our country. You know very well that I was very close even for in the last days of her life, President Edith Nawakwi. You know that you and I, we were the first people who arrived at when she was being arrested, the last time she was arrested and denied medication whilst she was in prison. We rushed there to her side. And I never thought that such people like yourselves and President Edith Nawakwi, who've contributed immensely to our country, can be treated in such a manner. For me, it's alien. For me, I see it to be extremely wicked, and I think it's extremely evil of what is happening in our nation. I never thought I would see a day when you, Ambassador, you can be living out of your country with the immense contributions you have made, first as a journalist, then in government, then as an assistant to President Frederick Titus Jacob Chiluba, may he so rest in peace, and then also back in government again as a public servant, served in various portfolios, that as permanent secretary. I really never thought that we can be that vindictive as a country, that you can be attacked, for example, in broad daylight, by police officers that are also citizens of our country. Really, I do not say this to make you feel good. You know, you've known me for quite some time. You know I'm not the type. I'm not the type who says things to please people. But I say this because I never thought that as a country, especially when I'm coming from a certain generation that is younger than the current president, from a youthful generation, I never thought that we can be this divided. I never thought that I would see such disrespect of people who have served this country just because, for the sake of it, because you are in the ruling party. and you can say whatever you want to say. So in terms of governance, I'm really extremely disappointed where you have the police being used to harass the opposition, to chase us. You come up with all sorts of charges, which I never knew that even existed in our land, really. And also to have, where you have the police behaving in a very certain biased manner towards us, especially when in the opposition. In terms of governance, really, for me, I feel that the president has not done well. I've taken time to reflect, especially in the recent days, and we need to correct this. We need to correct this. In terms of the economy, I cannot even begin to speak. The economy is in shambles. Small businesses are closing in our country, and I'm talking about indigenous businesses. And for me, it's heartbreaking to see a president who is busy praising himself and also his cabinet praising themselves when our people are suffering. I do not speak this because I want to become president or I want to gain political mileage. No, I do not. If I wanted political mileage, perhaps I would have been doing certain things that other politicians do, but I don't. But the reality of what is happening in our country is terrible economically. But then you have a president who continues to praise himself when he has wiped out money out of the economy using the monetary policy rate, and the 8 million plus that depend on from the informal sector on small jobs and people in the economy cannot access money, and the cost of living has gone up. I mean, it's inconceivable. It's inconceivable. For me, it doesn't make sense that you can be Republican president and justify the sale of power. Yes. You justify the sale of power, and yet you have a carpenter at Mandevu Market who goes the whole day without making a furniture for their client because his president has decided to sell power to the outside country, to the neighboring countries. And to compound it all, your government does not get back to you to tell you how you are benefiting from the sale of that power. You have a president who justifies the sale of power outside the country, and yet you have got a welder whose business is closing up, or a shop in the town center, the CBD, is closing up. If you go to town center, we have some of us who've got privilege. We are privileged to be found in the CBD, and because of our stature in the country, people run to us and talk to us. People are complaining. So, in terms of the economy, things are not right. And my admonition: this is not about who likes the UPND or who does not like them. This country needs a reset, Ambassador. We need to start afresh. We need to put things in order. We need the Zambians to come to the fore, to rise up and come to the fore and say that we need to make amends to what is currently obtaining in the next election. We need to change the status quo of this country. We can be more united. Our economy can perform better. Businesses, indigenous businesses, can be protected. The assets that we have can be in Zambian hands, such as the copper, the mining companies, can be in Zambian hands. We can run our own mines. We are of age. We do not need people to be dictating our economic policy from outside. Today we are told there's an emergency tariff. It will only run for these many months. Today we are told it will continue perpetually. Really, colleagues, with all due respect, and I hold no malice towards none, I do not have a history with you for you to accuse me of anything. We can lead this country from a better position. It's got nothing to do with hate or bitterness or anything. But our colleagues have failed, and we need to help them. Tulefwa iko kubafwa sana, tubafwe sana, na abafilwa abaneso. Thank you very much.
Thank you. To allow you to lay the foundation and also speak candidly about the state of our country. The issue of unity or lack of it, I think, has been exposed by this issue of the late president. President Edgar Lungu died on 5th June 2025. This is over 2 months ago. You were very, very close with him, especially when you colleagues were forming the United Kwacha Alliance. You held long meetings together. You worked in the night to review situations and many times to prepare press conferences. You worked very hard to attempt to heal the wounds and breaches and gaps and fractures that would emerge in United Kwacha Alliance. Just speak to, probably even use the opportunity to pass your condolences on the late president, although I know I saw your statement you did, but speak to that and to the current standoff. What can be done?
Well, for me, it's been extremely heartbreaking. The last time I spoke with him, he had actually sent a message to my inbox on WhatsApp. He had sent a message and he wanted to meet me because from the time, you remember, a lot of things happened from the time he traveled for the by-election. There's quite a lot that happened. There was a formation of Tonse from the United Kwacha Alliance, and quite a lot of things happened too fast. And we did not have the opportunity to really sit down. We had spoken via phone, but we did not have that opportunity to sit down and speak. And so he reached out to me just before he left for South Africa, and he told me that we need to meet and talk. And I said, Mr. President, I'm available, we can have a conversation. Because I believe that Zambia is too small to have political enemies. And I say this, it's too small. What is currently happening where this country has been pitted against the opposition, the UPND against the PF against the UPND, the GPZ is also supporting this and what. It's too small to have such kind of conflict. So I told him, we agreed that when he gets back, we'll be able to have a meeting at his place, at his home in Chifwema, where I've been for many times, as you know. And that meeting never happened. I had sent a text, I think maybe 2 days before he passed on, asking how he was doing, was he fine? There was no response, but unbeknownst to me that he was going through the medical procedures. So first of all, Mombayes, I would want to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt condolences to Madam Esther Lungu, the former First Lady, a person that has cooked for me before. So I want to say my heartfelt condolences. The family, the children, Madam Tasila, the husband, Tiesu, and everyone, the Lungu family, and also to the entire nation, also my heartfelt condolences. Yes, you are right that we burnt the midnight oil in many instances. And I must say, Ambassador, I must confess that some conversations were not pleasant I had with him in our quest to bring the opposition together. I remember one time we had different of opinions on how, for example, the unity should come about, who we should adopt and who we should leave out. Because I believe that if we incorporated certain elements in opposition unity, a split was going to occur. If the president was alive today, perhaps I would have told him that I told you so. But of course, I wouldn't have done that because not in my nature. We interacted very closely. At times, he would surprise me. He would just send a text to my inbox and say, I'm going for this meeting. I'm meeting some people. President Silavweon, can you come? Me thinking maybe he has sent a text in our WhatsApp group the group for presidents. Then you find yourself you're alone there and you're having a meeting. And you know, it's such kind of closeness. President Lungu was a warm-hearted person. I know some Zambians would disagree with me. Those who, especially Zambia, we have now become experts at forming opinions when you do not know somebody. We have become experts. But I'm speaking based on the interactions I had with him, both when he was president of Zambia as well as in the opposition. He was a very warm-hearted person, and he never used to take offense. There will be times even some of us who were considered young on the table would have a different opinion from him. But if it makes sense, he would always support you. And he would come out guns blazing and say, yes, I believe Jackson is right. We need to proceed on this matter. I remember in the first days when we formed the United Kwacha Alliance, because remember there was a lot of talk on the excesses of the Patriotic Front. For example, the Kadarism, that was a menace to Zambia. It is something that I addressed with him in one of the meetings. So, Mr. President, do you remember one of the things that made the Zambian people to kick you out is this thing? And he acknowledged, quite to my surprise. I mean, he acknowledged and said, you know, it's true, Jackson, you know, and it's something that I addressed with my colleagues. It is something, actually, it may shock you, President, Ambassador. It is actually something that he told us, that he actually told President Hakainde Hichilema, that you need to handle this thing decisively. Unfortunately, I think President Hakainde Hichilema never took his advice, because UPND cadres are everywhere. They're everywhere. It is something he actually said. I told President Hakainde Hichilema that you need to deal with this thing. It's a menace. It's a double-edged sword. People persuade you that if you go after the cadres, you lose support from the party. It's something that I was told. And he actually admitted that I could have dealt with this thing better. But like in any other grouping, we worked very hard to keep it together. President Nawakwi, Chair Scotta, we tried to keep it together, but there arose differences. And some of our colleagues took advantage of those differences and made a split amongst us. And I think now you colleagues, that you felt that we are keeping you out of the alliance or out of the functioning or the operations of the United Kwacha Alliance. Today, I think you can see, you can vindicate us, that the same characters that brought a lot of talk and trouble in United Kwacha Alliance, and now they're at it in your own alliance that you went and formed, the Tonse Alliance. They've caused another split there. My guess is that my prayer, not my guess, my prayer is that we hold out. We hold together and ensure that we do this for the Zambian people. I have certain reservations in how we are proceeding as far as opposition unity is concerned, based on the little experience I have. But my prayer is that we can come out of this more united. We can put our egos down and come out of more united and respond to the many cries of the Zambian people. My thinking is that if we go into this election fragmented, it will be a heavy indictment on us. Posterity will not judge us well. Posterity will judge us harshly if our colleagues who are running government bounced back. Because the level of suffering from our people, the cost of living, the misrule in terms of the bias application of the law, the arrogance of being the ruling party, where you want to push legislation that the Zambian people have refused, such as constitutional reforms. You are still trying to force these things back in parliament, you know, land reforms that concentrate power in the executive, how we have seen the selective punishment of judges, you know, the people that we run to for for correct mediation at law in our conflicts as a country. You see how the judges have been harassed, judges have been suspended, over flimsy grounds. It's a cause for concern for us in the opposition to act. And my thinking is that if we do not act, it will be a very heavy indictment on us from the opposition. And I believe that history will not be on our side. Posterity will be able to judge us harshly if we lose this election that is coming in 2026. I think we have got a lot of talent.
Yeah, in fact, Mr. President, this brings me to this question.
Yeah.
After analyzing the state of the country, our people are looking up to the opposition. And you have just given us a window of the challenges that were, that afflicted the United Kwacha Alliance, and you are the breakaway of Tonse Alliance. Our people are looking at all of you, political parties that are in political alliances, whether it's in United Kwacha Alliance and Tonse, those outside the political alliances, like, for example, Socialist Party and Citizen First, or those that, like the Zambia We Want, that are not part of any alliance. Zambians want all of you to put your acts together and be united, and if possible, then front some form of a basic united team, which probably produces one candidate, and some basic working programs, especially on critical issues such as cost of living crisis, how you'll address issues of health, education, energy, and the basic pillars of developing a country. To what extent are you pursuing that thought or program beyond the United Kwacha Alliance? Because if we say United Kwacha Alliance produce a single candidate, you probably would. If we tell you produce a single program that should unite the members of the United Kwacha Alliance, that you would. But then you'll have Tonse, then you'll have the Zambia We Want, then you'll have political parties that are outside any of the alliances. To what extent are you thinking about this as a leadership in UKA and reaching out to the others?
Well, the good thing, Ambassador, this information is in public, but maybe as a member of that grouping, maybe I can put strength to it. There's a saying that it is not what happens to you that counts. It is how you respond. It is not what happens to you that counts, but it's about how you respond to the moments or to things that happen to you. Really, regardless of the dirt that was being thrown in public amongst ourselves as political players, I have no problem to sit with anyone to talk about the way forward in terms of our country. It is for that matter that even after all these misunderstandings that we have had, right before the demise of the late President Edgar Lungu, and may he so rest in peace, there was a coming back together under what we are calling the United Front, the United Opposition Front. And we've held a number of discussions and meetings on how we are going to proceed. Also mention that not only have we been talking, we have got a functional place where we call a secretariat for the United Opposition. So again, we did not just surrender ourselves that no, we had these differences, so it is over for us. We again initiated conversations. But again, I must also say that the same divisive elements have crept up, trying to paint a picture or to paint those representatives of certain alliances that have been coming for those meetings as if they are planning anything clandestine. And I want to dispel such innuendos, such half-baked rumors, that there is no such thing. Some have heard rumors where some have paid that a candidate has been chosen or a candidate has positioned himself like that. There are no such things. What we've had is a framework of how we want to proceed and of how we want to engage each other. And I must say that every major political player right now in the opposition is seated on that table, and we're having those conversations. But of course, the demise of President Edgar Lungu has put everything on pause, and so we need to re-engage again to see how best we need to proceed in this environment, because we suspended all the activities so that we can be able to bury our late statesman who contributed immensely to this country. We wanted to do that. So our breath has been held to ensure that, because we don't want to seem insensitive. That is why you've seen, Ambassador, it's been extremely difficult, even for the opposition, to mobilize themselves for by-elections. Because for us, it's not business as usual. For us, it's about family. For us, it's about comradeship. President Edgar Lungu was not just a person who had his own political views which differed from ourselves. I had political views that were different from President Edgar Lungu. But for us, it's been personal. So we suspended all the activities to attend to this matter. And it's sad what is happening right now. Really, like I said in my preamble, Ambassador, I never really thought that we as a country full of elders, we can be arguing and slanging out in a foreign country, deciding how we are going to bury our statesman, and all that. For me, is just downright disturbing. And I want to make it very clear. My views on this matter are very clear. There was supposed to be a negotiation where we talk, we give and take. You cannot have it your way just because you are in power. You can also not have it your way just because you are the one who is bereaved and you are in the opposition. There has to be a common ground to agree, an amicable solution to say this is how we are going to proceed for the sake of the memory of a person who served this country. You will never take away that from Edgar Lungu, no matter how much you hate him, no matter how much you disagree with him. Number one, you will never take away the fact that he ruled this country. We dragged President Frederick Chiluba to court for the entire of his life after he left presidency. You will never take away that he ruled us. You will never take away the fact that before he came into power, there were shortages of apples and essentials. I've mentioned apples, but the bottom line is essentials. You will never take away that this is a man who liberalized our economy. You will never take away the fact that this is a man who gave hope to our country. I'm not saying that EC Leo is an angel. He has many weaknesses. He himself would acknowledge that to us privately. I have a lot of regrets that I had. I could have done things differently. But he also shared with us things that he did right. You'll never take away that. And you are not going to change history. That there was a day you sent police to go rip off the gate. You'll never take away that history, colleagues. We're a country that wants to glorify lies instead of truth. You'll never take away the fact that this man, you denied him medical. A former president was denied to, because he called me from the airport, Ambassador, if you don't know, when he was denied because he had wanted me to release a statement. One time, this is what we did. You, the Zambian people, don't know. One time, President, Ambassador, he called me around 01. And he said to me, he said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm home." He said, I've got information that my home is about to be searched by the police. They're sending the police. So you'll be on standby, because remember that time I was spokesperson for UCA. And I said, "Can I come?" He said, "No. When maybe they come, because I've got reliable information, but they also know that I know this information. So I'm told they're still debating whether to come that night." So I said, let me come with the colleagues so that we can inform the nation of what was happening. And he said, no, you wait. When it happens, I'll be able to let you know. Just keep your phone on loud so that I do not call several times to get to you. But I say these things not because I'm a supporter of President Edgar Lungu. I say these things because we can treat ourselves differently in a country. Life is too short. Today, President Hakainde Hichilema is president. Tomorrow, he will be former president. And I believe he will be former president in 2026. How do we treat him? Should we make him pay? Should we make him answer to all the mistakes that people made, even on his behalf, which he didn't know when he was president? Or should we take the high road like the way the Americans do things? Because if today we followed some of the misfortunes that some of the mistakes the American presidents have made, some of them could not be enjoying life outside. Remember the story when we were told that the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, a country was invaded, lives have been lost, many people have lost their fathers and uncles and mothers, and today the Americans still look at President George W. Bush in high esteem. Today actually is even more popular than the incumbent. So how do we treat each other as a country? Why is it that at the moment, Ambassador, we have people who are being promoted based on tribe? And these things are not a secret. And I want to say this to President Hakainde Hichilema. People may lie to him around him. People are complaining because people work in environments. You work in an environment in a ministry, and all of a sudden, the director is from one tribe, the deputy director, the secretary, the permanent secretary, everyone is from one tribe. How do you respond to those issues? So these are candid issues. These are matters that needs to be dealt with in a very calm way and rational manner, removing sentiments like, no, they never wanted this fellow to become president. No, it's unfortunate to have such statements coming from a Republican president. So really, in a nutshell, Ambassador, there are serious discussions from the opposition bloc that beyond our past, beyond the misgivings that we have had, we still need to re-engage. And I want to extend an olive branch to those colleagues who may feel maybe they are not being involved. There is space on the table. Don't be in a habit of releasing statements over gossip. Come to us, reach out to us. We are not going to penalize anyone that you did this, you did what. Come, we have a discussion. So that tusunge chalo, tulete chalo pamo, to deliver victory, to deliver an election victory for the sake of abantu beswabe kalachalo, from the east to the west, from the north to the south. Every Zambian must feel included in the opposition project. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. To our dear viewers, you now have an opportunity to join the debate. We are hosting Golden Party of Zambia President, Mr. Jackson Silavweon. He's discussing, just finished discussing the state of the country and the state of the opposition and what they are doing to come together to have at least a formidable team and probably a single candidate to challenge President Hakainde Hichilema. There are efforts to go beyond the current unity, that the unity should be broadened, a proper unity of purpose, but, united in the principles of, emancipating our country. So the line is open. You can come on and ask Mr. Silavweon any questions, any contribution you'd like to put.
The party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I'm not complaining at all. the time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president when you stripped me of these things? Please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says,
we have our first caller. Just a minute. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. It's Patrick Chilufa from the UK.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you so much. I've been listening to you, and I'm really, really so happy to learn that, in Bemba we say, Amano ya fuma muifwesa ya mchulu. You are a young man, but you've got wisdom, and you're a leader. Because what you are saying, Silavweon, though you are my young brother, is what Zambians want. I was in Zambia in November for almost 3 months. I traveled from south to northwest. Zambians are saying we need the opposition to get united, because if it's fragmented, so what Zambians are looking for is leadership. There is no leadership mchalo. Abantu balenda tututumbi and everything. Kateka taf mapo. Wisalandati fumulenda tafiweme. You can see the economy, everything. Zambians, they are saying, if it was the economy alone, we could have given him another 5 years. But there is no unity, there is discrimination, So what people want was Silavweon. Put our egos aside, everything. Once that we came in a veka, but Silavweon young. But Honorable Binwell, very young and Kangombe, very intelligent people. But Honorable Kalaba, very young. If we miss this opportunity to come from Yapo Yumuntu, Silavweon, you will never be the president of Zambia. Binwell will never be the president. Kalaba will never be the president. So that we unite, we remove this guy, not just for removing him, come up with a social contract and tell the Zambians this is what we are going to do differently. And Zambians are ready. Give him a credible leader, not just any other leader. Give them a credible leader. Zambians are coming from Yapo. And I'm telling you, Silavweon, whoever you mfuatita winayeka, ngamwaba united. Leave them alone. 70-80% of the opposition is enough. Zero. Silavweon, we are at the crossroads. The country is in a crisis. Let's come together, remove this guy. This is independence part 2. And not just independence. This is independence in terms of economic independence. Zambians are saying, I'm a minos yes, gold yes, kuma foreigners. I rest my case, Vaslav.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chital. Thank you very much, Mr. Chilufa from the United Kingdom. Let's pick some more calls. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador, this is Munkonge calling from West London.
Yes, Munkonge.
Sinkamba, the first question.
Silavweon.
Sinkamba, the president, to clarify, because he has got the experience during the PF government, how they were operating under the PF government as an opposition leader, and how things now are happening he can try to clarify or to differentiate how they use to have freedom or not to have freedom. Then the second question, because after the former president decided to come into politics, not direct into PF, decided to organize united opposition parties. So since Mr. Sinkamba, you were too closer with the former president, you can also explain to us the vision, because as we were just seeing on distance, to see that the president seems like he has come with a different idea. That's why even the people, they were enjoying to say that, no, let him come back, because people, they notice that, no, this president, he has come with a different ideas. So you can try to explain to us the information he was trying to do with the opposition leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take a few callers before we allow Honorable Silavweon to answer. Honorable Silavweon, maybe just take these same questions as I'm sorting out my phone. Just answer.
All right,
okay?
thank you.
I can see there is a caller here.
Okay.
Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, wherever you are.
Thank you.
May I commend the President Silavweon. I've been listening to him. I'm also based here in the UK. I've also listened to the first caller, Mr. Patrick Chirufia. If the opposition, ababa ichenga baresenda kirabaranda muchiwe mbatu kupokera chisenda kuna kirila why mafia afwala suti ationa ine kuti naba president, they should go to the grave of BY Muinda. What is going to happen is that ngachakwewa that this kind of personal talk yona ine kuti naba president abaichi ababeni abaichi abena Binwell Kalaba Bashani na Bashani with no experience. They are actually delivering this to UPND in 2026. Elio ngapita akabakaka ibifini akakawe na kambwiri bonzaba abakaka. You know, that is a lesson. Except that our political leaders are so down. Echiri pamubio, echiri pari iwe. Okay? Pakufunyapo wa Kaunda was a smart man. Okumufunyapo nishale pera na abantu unga. Uwama coupons. Okay? Ababa lumendolo baisaba. Tabaisa mukuteke echalo yo. Elio aba bafuidio kuina my elections ababa UPND. They must even be ashamed that Biden is no longer president of United States of America. Ba PF bali pwalala, ba bebila mavoti. Yo electronic voting. Tabeshi byati file pita ku embassy yaku, ba funya na embassy mpepi na cabinet office pali. Ubupuba. Okay? Ababa icheba levili mabakara baba. Bakakakwa. Binwell mpundu na kwa temira ndoredi. Ayemulorera fikwatirifu afwali ya umfwa nswaso. Baka kevini akakababu ale akonka fe wanu ale batola. Mulera ndapakwe batiyo kuli tribalism. It's not a new thing. Zambia Railways mweba ichi mule kutika kubantu abaliko. When Anderson Mazoka was ambire kumungwi and he was head boy for Mungwi Secondary School. Dr. Kaunda appointed him as general manager for Zambia Railways. He appointed Tongas from Livingstone up to Chidabombo as managers. No mbamulera ngashi esembe. Ili akaba. Disemberia kabelio de la coma. Nga very serious our opposition. Uyalela ndefi, nakachinga lela ndefi. Yo PF, elekafunya candidate. Some of these chaps, you have to be very careful with them. They are already on the payroll by UPND. If UPND can be suspected of taking money to South Africa to go and win that case, what will stop them from buying these chaps, the idiots,
Thank you.
the opposition alliance?
Thank you, Vane. Let's allow some other people to call. Thank you very much. Thank you for.
No, but you know, it's so painful.
I can imagine.
The Zambia that we have had. Zambians must wake up. Now, Zambians are not going to wake up for as long as you have got a docile and greedy, corrupt opposition leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our callers are angry. Our callers are angry. Mr. Silavweon, just answer the three from Patrick from the United Kingdom, who's talking about opposition unity. Okay, just a minute again. I think the phone now is okay. We must have sorted out this issue. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hey, good afternoon, Ambassador.
Good afternoon.
Good program. Today I want to talk about our usual, but I'm just happy that you have Jackson Silavweon on the call. Jackson, you have great insight in the way that our country should be run. And I just hope and pray that as you are making plans going forward, talk to Ambassador Mwamba. I've talked to him a few times. He doesn't believe me, but talk to him. Galvanize how the opposition should be, should be providing checks and balances that are making sense, not just criticizing everything. And I'm enjoying the program. I just wanted to say that, but we still have to talk. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear brother. You are welcome any day. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba. My name is Mrs. X or Mrs. Unknown from the AI Kingdom. I'm not related to Mr. AI Kingdom. We just live in the AI Kingdom. I have a few questions for Mr. Jackson Silavweon. Mr. Silavweon, I followed you very well in your political journey and so forth. I know very well you stated even in your discussion how you were very much influential in the 2021 elections and so forth. I saw you how I was like, oh, this person is so vigilant and so forth. However, I've noticed lately you've gone quiet in raising issues that are affecting the nation. You've been quiet. In the UKA, you were okay, vocal here and there. But since UKA went into kind of split, we have Tonse, we have now UKA and all that, you just went quiet. I want to understand one issue. Is it because you are one of those people who have been blackmailed because you've got businesses that you are running? I understand you've got schools that you run. And is it because they've come also to you to blackmail you to say, if you are going to be talking, we'll close your schools? And because you've stopped being patriotic to your country, you've decided to stop talking and you speak against the UPND with the injustices and protect your business. Is that the reason you've stopped talking? Could you kindly shed more information on that? Thank you.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello.
Yes, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Okay, I'll remain anonymous from Mwamba.
That is well.
Okay, Raj Jackson, just a few questions. UKA, if I was following you correctly,
you were saying the people who left UKA were the problem. Okay, I'm just trying to summarize. But what we know is right now, UKA is in two places. You've got UKA Savoy and UKA Sikota. So how do you square these two UKAs? What's going on there? And if this is the way we're going to present ourselves as a united front, where we are pointing fingers at other people as the problem, don't you think that we are already defeated and it's not going to take us anywhere? Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have more callers waiting. Maybe let's just take Ichigumu now, then see how you can respond. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. Let me just remain anonymous.
That is where.
Thank you. Ambassador, I just want to concur. Rather, let me just speak on the others they have already mentioned. The threat, by the way, thank you for bringing Mr. Siraf on the platform. And how are you, Mr. Siraf? The problem that we are having, Ambassador Mwamba, which we are actually scared of, is the fact that the political parties are very ununited as it stands. Now, we are scared maybe there are other, some people which maybe are being bribed, etc., and other stuff. Because for us to remove the current regime, we need a very strong opposition political party which is united. If you remember very well, for UPND to remove PF, they were very united with one president. If you remember, Michael Sata too was very united until they removed MMD. Now, in the current state where we are, we have seen that there are certain politicians who are going behind, getting something there, and they are busy campaigning, doing something which is not supposed to be there. Now, how are we going to form a better opposition political party that is going to remove UPND? And like what Mr. Muhabi Rungu said last time, that we don't have a contender who is going to be there to say this is the second person that can defeat this person. So there is need for opposition to sit together and have a strong opposition that is going to ensure that we remove the government which is of today. But if we are going to have these politicians who are just getting money, tomorrow they make this statement, tomorrow they make this statement, forget about removing UPND, because UPND, they are intact. So for you to remove UPND, there is need to form a proper political party that is people are willing to remove UPND, but now people the problem is opposition political parties, they are not organized. So that's why the problem is, Mr. Mwamba. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. As you can hear, Honorable Jackson, there are more calls in the background. Let's just see how we can quickly take as many as possible. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Kefas Zulu calling you from within Lusaka.
Kefas, ask Honorable Silavweon is here for the program.
I want to make a comment. Like the first and second caller had alluded to, we have a lot of young people, politician young people who are over-ambitious. A lot of young people who are politicians, can you imagine Kalaba would think that he would stand against President HH and win him?
No, my brother, let's not insult our leaders. I think that's not the purpose of these platforms. Discuss issues. We have seen no. You are naming Ohari Kalaba. There's nothing wrong with him pursuing those ambitions. There's nothing wrong with Jackson Slav. We're trying to be president or Binwe Mpundu. Let's just speak the issues. I think respect my guests that way. Yes.
Okay. I hear you. I think the point that I'm trying to drive is this: that in a time like this,
the opposition must be able to position itself appropriately. There is no single person in the opposition, even the PF itself alone, would win against the UPND. The PF itself needs the effort of Jackson Silavweon, Ali Kalaba, Fred Membe, Sean Tembo, and many other. You know, when you gather the unsundry together, all these people amalgamate them into one thing. I'm telling you, not even the UPND will be able to stand. But the problem, like I had started, sorry for the mistake, but the problem is that there are people are ambitious, even to the point that they think it's okay, I can go it solo. That will not work. The fact is, HH prepared for 2026 election from the first time we won the election in 2021. Can you imagine winning someone who prepared for the past 4 years, if you like 5 years, to win the next election? And you just wake up today, we are having a dark corner meeting because you are not allowed to go public because of the shrinking democracy, that you are going to come out and be able to wallop President HH. It's a joke. So my advice is, like any other person is feeling, some of us have been everywhere across the country. The slogan or the language is only one, that the opposition must unite. Otherwise, if you don't unite, you all perish, or we all perish like fools. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Callers, let's just maintain dignity for our guests. Let's have a rational debate. And there's nothing wrong with any of our leaders aspiring for leadership. I saw how people thought Chiluba couldn't be president. He became president. I saw how people said Mwanawasa couldn't be president, and he became president. I saw how Sata was called all sorts of them, and he became president. Even Edgar Lungu, HH was said that he couldn't be president. Let us just be, I think the issue is that the opposition must be united. Present a united team and present a leader to us. It doesn't matter which leader they will choose. It could be Silavweon, it could be Hari Kalaba, it could be Frederick, Fred Membe, it could be given Lubinda or Brand Munduwile, it could be anyone, but the issue is for them to be united. Let me quickly just allow you to answer before we get another set of callers. Honorable Silavweon.
Thank you. Ambassador, I want to assure the nation, I have sat and I've got no cause really to alarm or to blow up the situation. I have sat at the highest level in the meetings of the opposition, the United Front opposition. And the feeling on the table amongst all the major political players that you have mentioned is that we need a unified candidate in the 2026 general elections, because that will increase the chances of opposition victory, looking at what is at stake if this election is lost. I want to assure the nation strongly. Apart from that, Ambassador, I've had the privilege to speak individually to key people within the opposition bloc. I've had one-on-one meetings with Dr. Fred. I've had one-on-one meetings. I must also mention to you that the opposition front is not only for politicians. It's also for other organizations. We have got eminent people that have joined the group. These people do not belong to a political party. You can't even place them anywhere apart from sons that have served or continue to serve this country. And the feeling is that we need a unified candidate. I want to say this to the nation. That is agreeable. Ambassador, you are a researcher. One of the enemies, the people that are ruling right now, they know very well that once the opposition unite, they are gone. Once the opposition come up with a unified candidate, they are gone. you can spread your tentacles to verify this information because it has happened to me. There is a plot targeted at opposition leaders from the intelligence service of Zambia, certain elements from the intelligence service of Zambia. I don't know if this is information, if it is if it is targeted or it is to make sure that the opposition goes in disarray. There is elements from our security services who are going to specific opposition leaders and telling them that according to the information they have gathered, if you stand on your own, you are going to win this election. I say so because I've been approached. I've been told, if Jackson, you can only stand alone, the information we have is that you are going to win. And I must believe also that they have gone to other opposition leaders because they are very convincing. They will go to the other opposition leaders and say, you are wasting your time with those people. The information, of course, they are using the weaknesses that have happened in the opposition or those that exist in the opposition. One of their strong arguments, they would say, no, the people of Zambia do not want you being involved. What I've been told, at least, you being involved with people like the former ruling party, there are merits and demerits and also. So if you just stand on your own, you will be able to win. And from the discussion I had from another senior colleague, a president within the United Front, is that they have reached out not only to myself, but to others as well. That no, if you just stand on your own, you win this election. So when I talk about elements, responding to some of our callers, when I talk about elements, I'm talking about tangible people, what is happening to us. And if you do not weigh the consequences of what is at stake, you're going to say, no, I'm going to do it alone, because they are very convincing when they reach out to you in such a manner. That leads me to one of the concerns. You said, the one caller said, no, when you said those who left are the problem. So now what and what? No, that I did not say that, and I'm happy you said clarify. I have said there have been elements within the opposition bloc that have been divisive. You know that information. It's not a secret. And I also said that where, for example, Ambassador Mwamba is seated, some of the things are being made clear now. People have been problematic from inception, who fed other people wrong information to make certain decisions that were not supposed to be made. If you ask me, even today, was there a cause for us to part company even the time we were United Kwacha Alliance? My answer is no. And perhaps I'm extremely disappointed that even in the opposition we can behave in such a manner. And that I would want to respond to the question of my sister who said that you were quiet. As you look at me right now, I cannot be bribed, my sister. I cannot. And nobody would dare to even suggest such a thing to me. Because if they came to my house, they may not go in one piece. If I want to just say, that's how strong I feel about such matters. Nobody can bribe me. But I've been silent, it's true, especially for the month of July. I have been silent for the month of July and part of June. It's because I'm also concerned that we need to move at a certain pace, and I've had these discussions with certain colleagues in the opposition, that we need to refocus and begin to move to re-engage the Zambian people afresh. And it's unfortunate that we are in this position in the opposition where we have a colleague, a senior colleague, who served as president of this country, remains unburied. These things weigh heavily on us. Alo twale kulaba Mwamba ife kumufrila, kukamchanga. Ama uncles besu ama baletwe bati muno muchalo mwali befintu ifyafina ifyakosa ififwaika kalamba ukufisa fisobolola. Zambia is going through ifintu ifyafina ifyakosa, and the unfortunate is that abakalamba twashintirile mwamaka bali biased. So we need to unravel what is happening and begin to move as a united front. I would also want to tell you that before, right on the evening of the passing of our dear ECL, we were supposed to have a retreat where we would have highlighted a number of issues concerning the discussions on how we are going to we are going to handle the elections. One of the things, if you remember, Ambassador Mwamba, right on Lumezi, we actually made a decision right before ECL passed on that we are going to going to put up a unified candidate. We even reached out to all the colleagues in the opposition and gave them a mandate to meet. We gave a mandate to President Harry Kalaba to meet. We gave a mandate to the Tonse Alliance to meet. We also compelled Dr. Fred Membe of the Socialist Party, who willingly also submitted that he was willing not to put up a candidate for the sake of opposition unity. So when we talk about opposition unity, it is not a fantasy, it's a reality. But of course, it's got a lot of enemies. I'm not going to be naive about it. There are people who plan against it. Some people who speak against it. Some people who come to the opposition thinking, if I'm not chosen as president, then I'll still contest. We have those problems, but we need to navigate. And Ambassador, you know that we have got experience in these matters. We have held discussions to negotiate difficult things behind closed doors. So sometimes the Zambian people can be impatient to say, why is it not happening? There are a lot of pitfalls that we need to navigate. I do not want to point fingers. I will not point fingers at anyone, because if we are going to get united, we need to be on the table. We know who mean well. We know who doesn't mean well. We know whom we can support. We know whom we cannot support. But we need to come on the table to find each other for the sake of the Zambian people. And that meeting on the table must be sincere. It must come out of a heart to ensure that we achieve something for the Zambian people. Lastly, Ambassador, there was something that was spoken about ECL to say what was his intention to come in the opposition. I want to disclose this. I want to disclose this to the Zambian people, because in Zambia we have become very petty when it comes to politics. ECL knew that he was not going to be on the ballot in 2026. He knew. He knew. At least he told me myself. He told me in one of my conversations. And he told me, and the reason he told me is that the brother in State House hates me. I can never be on the ballot. He knew very well. I want to submit that without fear or favor. Let there be anyone who is going to challenge this amongst us who were around him to come and refute what I'm saying. ECL knew that he would be on the ballot, because he knew that even if he had a constitutional provision or leeway for him to be on the ballot in 2026, he knew he was going to be stopped at whatever cost. And so every time we met, he used to emphasize that we need to be united as an opposition bloc. We need to be united, and we need to come to a point where we choose one from amongst us. And I want to say this again, even when ECL, they went and formed Tonse, the discussion I had with him, he said we can still come up with what? With one candidate. I remember you, Ambassador, you wrote something that we will make now, is it a grand alliance? First you will have an alliance, then a grand alliance, then a super alliance, then a whatever. People even started joking, supernova alliance, black hole alliance, and what and what. But he believed. I remember he believed. And for me, I saw it as an opportunity that we will come now with blocks. Tonse will come, Uka will come, the others will come. And I'm happy that is what is on the table right now, because everyone is on the table right now. I want to assure the Zambian people that we are sitting and talking about these matters. And not only are we alone, we have got elders that are surrounding us. We have got people who are immensely disappointed since the independence of our country that things have gone in this direction. We have got the church, also members of the church, who are around us and talking to us that you need to make this thing a reality. But I also want to send a note to my colleagues, my senior colleagues in the opposition, that as we come on the table, let it not be, if I'm not chosen, then this thing has to break. Then they are not being sincere.
Thank you very much.
Being
Let's
sincere
take a few calls, and thank you for that revelation, Mr. President, that all of you are on one table. Let me take for those that wish to call now so that we can take the calls. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Call me Uncle J.
Uncle J, make your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Mwamba. May I first start recommending President Silavweon. I think for me, I've followed his politics. He's one person that is actually a leader. He's firm, very articulate, stable, you know, in the way he's always carried himself. I want to disagree with some people that have said, you know, any of these young people, because of age, cannot be president, so they cannot unseat the president. I think we've been through that before. You know, the people that we thought were, you know, would actually offer kind of leadership because they are old. They've failed us. They've failed us. These young people, I think this is the time. This is the time for Silavweon. This is the time for Binwa Mpundu. This is the time for Kangombe. Young people have the capacity to lead this country. Wisdom, as things stand, we can actually see it. The very people that we thought would actually help, you know, build this nation, in the so-called elderly people, are the people that have failed us and have actually failed even to convince this president to bring the remains or to bury ECL. Let the opposition unite, as everyone is calling for this unity because it is important. But let us be clear. These young people that have actually put themselves, you know, up, have the capacity, they are capable. You can actually tell from the way they've stood and the way they articulate things. It is clear that they are ready. All they need is just the support of the Zambian people. What these people should do is let them unite, let them give us a direction. Zambians have already decided we are tired, we are sick of this government. What we want is change. Our country should come back to normalcy. We are in a state of confusion. There is no hope for Zambia. If this person is allowed to rule again after 2026, we are finished as a country. We cannot allow this kind of bitterness to continue in our country. We need normalcy in our country. We need systems to work for the Zambian people, not as things stand now.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Let's take a few more questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello?
Yes, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, Mwamba. I'll remain anonymous.
Yes, anonymous. Make your contributions.
Calling you from Zambia. I just want to echo what everyone is saying. And first of all, good evening to your guest there.
Yes, thank you. He's listening.
Yeah. I just want to echo what everyone is saying. And, you know, I think it's all clear. We just need the opposition to come together. You know, we are all here and we are depending on these politicians to save us out of this misery that we are going through. I just encourage Mr. Jackson there, Silavweon, to talk on our behalf, convince everyone we
should come together and, bring back Zambia to where it's supposed to be. We need to get back on track. I'm a man of very few words, but I just wanted to add on to what everyone is saying. It's just about opposition coming together and, taking out these people. We are really, really tired. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. We need to take the course looking at time, and I do not like keeping our opposition leaders. They are a gem. They are, a treasure to our country. And I know that Mr. Silavweon is broadcasting from a remote area, not from his house. So I'd like him to be to quickly go. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador Mamba Chilufya from the UK.
Yes, Chilufya from the UK.
Yes, can I just say this quickly? I wasn't happy with the way you dealt with that caller who was saying and mentioning names that they can't go it alone and win. That is the biggest problem we have got, Ambassador. And everything that is happening.
Can I clarify a bit?
Yes.
Yeah, the other caller was trying to demean that some presidents are not ready, and you're saying
it's only true. It's not demeaning.
No,
Ambassador,
no,
it's only
no.
true.
My point is, I think
it's only true, Ambassador. And if you are not going to agree with it, then we are in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to debate with you, and I don't debate with my callers, but the reasoning is very simple. Let our leaders assess.
Ambassador, let me stop you there. Do you honestly think Silavweon, and by the way, Silavweon was my junior at secondary school. Do you honestly think he can win 2026 elections?
Why not?
Oh, okay. I will leave it there.
Yeah, why not?
Good luck.
Okay. So if you look at our country,
thank you, Ambassador.
Yeah, if you look at our country, mwivutuka.
Okay.
Umfweni. Ilio twaishile mu 2021. Kwa limpa lume ama generals mu 1991. But they picked on a man who had such a small stature, Chiluba. Even Kaunda thought it was a joke. But they had no idea that that's where the heart of the people were. Okay? People said Sata was a monster, he couldn't be president. They called him
I think I've lost you.
Yeah, they called him all sorts of names. Okay? Even Mwanawasa. What we need here is let's not demean anyone. But what we are saying is let's have a candidate.
I think I've lost you, Ambassador.
Okay. Sorry. Let me take the other call. But my point is, I just don't want you to fall pity to judging people. If amongst themselves the opposition think that Jackson can be president, so be it. If they think that is Fred Membe, so be it. If they say it will be given Lubinda, so be it. The point is, let us allow the wisdom of opposition leaders to come together and give us one candidate. I think that's the point. This business of saying he can't be president, we've heard it too many times. Many people even said Hichilema can't be president, but he's currently our president. Caller, you are live on air. Please make your contribution.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Mine is just a word of encouragement to President Silavweon. Mr. Silavweon, I would just like to encourage you. Ignore these people that are being negative, but please just stay focused on your vision for Zambia and on your vision for ensuring that we have a united opposition ahead of the 2026 elections. Please ensure that you build strong unity among all the party members so that we don't have a fragmented opposition. And you also just need to continue engaging with Zambians across the country. Listen to our concerns and please communicate your plans so that we know what you have ahead for us. And please continue leading the opposition with dedication and just focus on the future and your goals, engagement, and everything that you have planned. Please put everything in the hands of God and it shall be well. We believe in you. And if we have a united opposition, we know we are assured of victory in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Mwichelo aba munkonge mwichelo, we have other callers emkwai.
Okay, sure. Ba president besu tebasakamane sana. Bachitwe batorede kwa bana abantu abesa mukube bati tuwayimirina. The same warabeni abantu ebesa platform balerando kwa bati no abota bafuire baranda tibayimirina ni ba president. Naba kwatensa mbu isha kuranda kuti bayimirina okuteka abantu bati nshita yakusara president wakubatungururanga Afrika. Naba kwatensa mbu isha kuranda tawo nombata tuwayimirine. Franarandira tukutina yimirina nshayimirine bali ino nshita. Naba kwatensa mbugani wa president kuranda te Zambia tinateka but nshita ya kusara opposition ukabatungurura nga Afrika then bakeba abantu babwatawo nomba iye ntungurushe yeso so abantu abesapa baresa mungu tuchita step kutuchita confuse no ko kuchita confuse ama president beso bari fo kutwara Zambia ukuikatana twalya mboku beshi basoba bakateka beso mwe turina imorero ufuri mwa konkanya kufa kushipa chisuma.
Thank you. Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. My name is Nancy.
Yes, Nancy, make your contribution.
It's my first time to hear Mr. Silavweon speak on a number of issues, and I'm actually very impressed with what I've heard. It's good that we are getting all kinds of people in the opposition coming together and trying to find common ground and the way forward for the promotion of democracy in our country. It's just disappointing that there are some citizens who want to come out and say this so-and-so cannot be president and what. Such elements are the ones who make it difficult for a united opposition to exist. And such people should just be ignored. Yes, it's their opinion and we respect it, but that is not in the spirit of advancement for our country. So the opposition leaders should not be dissuaded by such people and should not be influenced by such people who think leadership should be the preserve of whoever it is they think has numbers. Numbers are built. No one starts from a million at once. So numbers can be built. What is important is that the opposition comes together and they all support whoever will be picked. Those who think it will only work, and if they are the ones leading the opposition, are not good for the opposition, are not good for the country. So, Mr. Silavweon and your colleagues, we are behind you because we want democracy to thrive and to grow in Zambia. So, keep up the good work and keep speaking for the rest of the country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador, how are you? I'd rather remain anonymous.
I'm very well anonymous. Make your contributions.
Okay, I think for me, I just want to make a clarification on what a lot of others are concerned about, and I'm sure that's why they are coming out like in a way demeaning to opposition. I think what more of us want to hear is looking at what's at stake right now. We don't need people coming out to say they will go alone on the ballot as opposition. What we need is them uniting. So when you hear those sentiments, I think people are just upset, and what they want to just hear is that the opposition are intact and they're going to give us one leader because we are ready. We're just waiting for them to give us one. So regardless of who is chosen, if it's Mr. Silavweon or Mr. Binwell, as long as they are on that united front, trust me, anyone is going to pull through. That is just, I think that's what a lot of people are missing. And because they're upset, they don't know just how to put it.
Thank you. I think you are right in some way where people are offended when someone says, "I'll go it alone." I think she has clarified very well. Thank you, Cole. I think you are right. People want our opposition to be united. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. We take the last calls.
Okay, my name is, I'll just use Uncle D. I'm calling from Belgium.
Uncle D from Belgium, make your contributions.
Okay, I just want to be very straight and factual. Like what other callers who came before me explained, what we need from the opposition is a united front. We are not refusing Bamwamba, whether abantu tabakweta civic rights for them to be presidents on their own. What we are calling for is a united front in terms of the opposition, so that we don't reach a point where we divide the votes. Because going solo and wanting to do ABCD, it will really divide the votes, and we are going to give an advantage to the current government that is messed up everything and playing around with the rule of law. So with that being said, to conclude, I think people that we've engaged on different platforms have talked about the schemes of the current regime, whereby they want to make sure that they divide to conquer. So what they want is to set these people in disarray and against each other, so that people will have, doubts in each other, so that they don't work together. Otherwise, what Silavweon is saying is something that is very much welcome, and we want to work with you. We want to see you succeed. We want to redeem the soul of our country. We cannot continue kuikala muri umusango kwati abantu balechula kaira mafundi ale bayakupiribuka ukwebati abantu abalingira ukwebati balwishe mu bukumo bwa kino kyalo balesangwa masales balesangwa shani teti tutwalirire na behavior. It's very bad. And also adding alamwe bantu tule kwatoluse bantu ngatatukwetaluse tukatukonaula ifingi ama comments aya lefuma ku bantu abakwebati. If it's the opposition who are making those comments, they will be summoned the following day at the police station or whatever. But as we are here as people, we need to ask ourselves how we got here. You cannot be making mockery over a bereavement, a funeral, for that matter, on social media, and you go viral. And the certain people who were even involved in such video, they were making that kind of, mockery apology. I've never seen this kind of lawlessness in people. So for me, let's have a united front. The opposition, I appeal to you. Kumona imwebe neba mwamba, nabandi abale tutungura mu opposition intunguru chocho tukwete. Tuapapata tekwesho kumfwa kubantu bambi efyo bale mieba. Tekwesho kumfwa bantu akesa miyo kwebati yo. I'm just giving an example. Bamwamba balandira efi limbi bayayi bakundo kwati imwe bakunda nangu basilavwe umfwe nefu bamibire so imwe nangu mulebombera pamo nif. Let us not look after our own interest. It's the nation, it's the country that we have. Zambia is the only home we have. Some of us want to return to our country one day, but not in this kind of leadership that we experience currently. I think I submit for now. Thank
you. Let me allow Honorable Silavweon to respond. Honorable Silavweon, please respond to the callers and make your last remarks to the callers that are calling. I'm grateful. There are so many calls, but we just could take some limited calls because we have to close the program and allow Honorable Silavweon to leave. Okay, make your contribution, sir.
Well, I want to say thank you very much to all the callers for the encouragements, for everything. I know my colleagues are listening. Some of them particularly did inbox me asking when I was going to make an appearance on EMV, and I'm very grateful. Some were concerned. Some even said that talk to you and all that. but they didn't know that you and I were already talking. The message is very loud and clear. Our people are tired, and we need to rescue them. We need to answer the call of our people. We need to answer the call to the high cost of living. We need to answer the call to the selective application of the law by those that are in power. We need to answer the call of ensuring that Zambia is for all Zambians and not for a region. We need to answer the call for unity. We are tired. That's what the Zambians are saying. We are tired of you dividing us. We need to have an opposition first that is going to be united and for it to unite the people of Zambia. Is opposition unity possible? As a person who has been part of these discussions, I want to say yes, it is possible. Is it possible to come up with a singular candidate from the opposition bloc to square off with the one in the ruling party? My answer is yes, it is possible. Is there hope for the Zambian people that tomorrow we can wake up in August 2026, the following day after elections or 2 days after election, with a new president? The answer is yes. Is there hope that we can change the way the country is being governed at the moment? Yes, the answer is yes. And so I want to assure the Zambian people, I am here to give you hope. And I'm not keeping that hope none to myself. I want to give hope to the Zambian small businesses that have suffered immensely. And by the way, Ambassador, I wish I had schools. Amongst the small business, you know that I'm a very aggressive businessman. You know that. But I do not run schools. And I want to assure that nobody has silenced me. If I have been not happy, I've been not happy with certain colleagues in the opposition. Some of them have spoken to them directly. And I haven't gone anywhere, my sister. I want to assure you, if you're still watching, I have not gone anywhere. I've had some personal misfortunes. Ambassador, you alluded to one of them being some funerals, but I am still very much part and parcel of the opposition bloc. So the Zambian people, I want to assure you that opposition unity is possible. Is there a time where all of us, including those that you do not like from the opposition, we can sit on the table and have a discussion? I believe that it is possible to do that. So I am here to give you hope that we see what is happening. We feel the pain that you are going through. We feel the fear that has gripped the nation. One of the things I've noticed about Zambians now, we are so fearful. Yes, some can speak online, but a true sensible Zambian is afraid of what is happening. I was speaking to one of the senior citizens who saw Dr. Kaunda's rule, and they looked me in the eye at their home and told me squarely, Jackson, what is happening now, we've never seen it, not even with KK. So KK was brutal, but this is beyond. We need to unite our people. And I want to send a message also to sensible people, even in the ruling party, that you need to be honest with yourself that something has gone wrong in this country. And we need to bring back this country to its correct position. We cannot continue fighting. We cannot have extremists going viral on Facebook, calling the dead names, insults going viral just because you are in the ruling party. We cannot have selective justice. Selective justice. We are being a country that is now losing its eminence. If you can prosecute, and I'm saying I'm not speaking for you, Ambassador, I want to make that very clear. But I'm speaking because you're a Zambian. Because what affects you, Ambassador Mwamba, affects me also as a Zambian. In war, I would gladly choose to fight on your side and die by your side, just as I would also with President Hakainde Hichilema. Something is wrong in this country and we need to fix it. Yeah. Something is wrong in this country and we need to fix it. We need to come together as a people and say, let us get Zambia back into the hands of the people. Let the people have the power to drive the destiny of this country. And so to every Zambian, from all our 10 provinces, from the north to the south, from the east to the south, to the west. It doesn't matter what tribe are you. If you're asking yourself a question, is it possible for us to have hope from the opposition? My answer is yes. Why? Because I've sat in those meetings. I've looked at the men and the faces of the men and women. Yes, we may not agree on anything because tatwafyalwa kumoyo. Twafuma in different places and different upbringings. Some of them will rush to the media. Bamo balafulwa, twali beshiba. Bamo balafulwa, bamo balaponta. But on the question of taking consideration of what the Zambian people are going through and how we need to respond, as the opposition bloc, we are united. And we will play our part. The same way we played a part in the United Kwacha Alliance, we will play a part in the United Front, and we will continue to engage. And colleagues, fellow political leaders, fellow presidents, it doesn't matter the differences we've had in the past. Let us come together. Let us stop plotting against each other. Let us stop planning against each other. And let us put the common denominator being the Zambian people. And the number above the denominator is going to sort itself out. So, my fellow presidents, please again let us re-engage. To my colleagues in the United Front, don't get tired. We need to continue to re-engage. We need to continue to give hope to the Zambian people and deliver them from the many injustices and economic hardships that they are currently facing, because they are our people and we must be there for our people. Thank you, Ambassador.
Mr. Silavweon, thank you very much for the opportunity that you gave us to be with us. We are grateful to the many callers. Maybe I can remain picking a few calls, but I'll allow Honorable Jackson.
I just have one thing against you, Ambassador. You didn't tell me the dress code. You are in a tie. Me, I am in a khaki. You should have
There's
told
no
me the
dress
dress
code on
code.
this. I come wherever, but when I have a serious discussion, sometimes I do wear a tie. And also because after the broadcast, sometimes I'm rushing to another meeting. So don't you have not disrespected the platform. It's a casual platform.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll allow you to leave, but let me take you. People are burning to speak. Let me take the last calls, and you can just monitor it on your phone and not of the concerns. Thank you very much. Let me take these calls. You can go, Mr. Silavweon. That's okay. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Oh, we'll take other calls. That caller is... Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hello, this is Mwewa from Livingston.
Yes, Mwewa. Make your contribution.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think I've followed the program keenly, and I've also heard how Mr. Silavweon, President Silavweon, has presented himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's a leader, and what we can do is just to support him, so that even as we are uniting as opposition, those voices are very much needed for the development of this country. What I want to say is that there are two issues that I want to talk about. One of them is the language from the ruling party, where they are saying that there is no opposition. But when you look at what you have presented here already on your program, we've got a lot of leadership in the opposition. So I don't know, maybe the ruling party means that there's no opposition because they have gotten a formula on how to disable the opposition. Maybe they have a formula, but the opposition is there in Zambia. And then the other thing is that we want to participate in the economic development of this country. While still is the UPND is still in power, what are the best channels of advising the UPND government? Because what it is that anybody who wants to advise the government now, they are in fear of being arrested. And the president, if I remember vividly, mentioned that he doesn't want people that confront him. Now, I would want to appeal to the president if he can give us a manual on how to maybe engage him in relation to do with national affairs. What is the best way of engaging the president? Maybe he can guide us so that we can be engaging him, because even as we are remaining with a year towards elections, this is the length period where we need government to be engaged. So I would want the president to show us how to engage him so that we are not arrested. And then leadership. I want to talk to Mr. Silavweon. Leadership comes from God. Anybody who is chosen by God can be a leader. So, Mr. Silavweon, what I can say is that I can just encourage you to go on. And then I also want to address one other caller who said who wanted to disqualify Mr. Silavweon based on maybe age or something. But leadership comes from God, and leadership is never bought. If one finds his way to leadership using money, those are the kind of leaders like Kawena Chavinga, because Barishtabu candidate. But if candidate, but if protect maybe to my business to have or Roshani. But when there is a highest bidder, they can easily sacrifice the masses. This is why even in the opposition, let us look at the people that we want to unite in the opposition. If it is those people that would come that they have got money, therefore we should choose them. I think we've seen an example from the current president. The majority of the people that voted for him were with the view that he's a wealth man, therefore he can't come and maybe do corruption, or he can't come and he will come and stop corruption. But it's not true. We have a man who has got money in office, but Zambia has deepened in terms of problems. So the leadership of selecting based on somebody who has money, it just burdens a leader. Benga abantu basendera endalama benga abantu bakupera endalama kuba tuwekateka. So batamusenga waingira pali bukateka n'endalama shagongola
bamwape sondweleleni bamwape
bonse mukalya ekyo kyakuba tuwambukula bakwe
bamwape sondweleleni sondweleleni
exporting things like copper by waiving taxes, a tax that is much needed for Zambia. So for in conclusion, let me just say that I still go back to what Honorable Muhabi Lungu guided. We need unity of purpose in all the opposition political parties. If you are attend to Fifunyeko, if you could attend to Fifunyeko, let us get the independence that we need. I thank you so much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. You were burning to speak, and we've allowed you to speak. If there's anyone that wishes to speak now, let them call quickly so that we hear their voices and what is in their heart. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
I'm going to stay anonymous.
Yes, anonymous. Make your contributions.
Okay. I just wanted to comment on the caller that talked about this individual can't be president because he was my junior at secondary school. I think that's an odd reason to decide not to have... It's an odd reason to think that someone can't be president because they were your junior at your school. And another thing I wanted to comment on is that the attacks that the opposition are facing, it looks like a tool that the UPND are using, or the current regime, is to attack the opposition from within. So you have members who look like they are in the opposition, but they are not really part of it. I mean, it explains why individuals like Mr. Chavinga where he is today. And he's having discussions with a minister who the current regime is yet to do a disciplinary, even because of the audio. That nothing's been said, nothing's been done. So the more I see things like this personally, I've lost respect for the current regime. They apply the disciplinary or laws selectively. So it's more like rules for thee, but none for me. So let's be focused as Zambians. Let's not lose heart. I think whoever it is that comes, as long as they're not of the current regime, we vote for them and then we get rid of the current regime, because we have but a very small window. We own less of our country, we own less of our resources, we can't speak freely, we have to stay anonymous. That is not the way to live. And then also, I find that the reason perhaps that the current regime won is that there's voters that flipped, that voted in protest, that were frustrated with the previous government. So when you're looking at those voters, if you think that they're going to stay loyal in the next election, insulting them, intimidating them is the wrong way to go about this. So you're pushing them further and further away. So I'd like to say that we're watching and we'll do what is required to ensure that the current regime is out. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, caller. Thank you very much. Okay, I always want our followers to have their say, and thank you very much. I think we have it. Let's close it. We have a big one on Thursday where we host Dr. Grave Chelwa to review the UPND in 4 years. It will be an interesting debate, and I'm inviting you to this debate. Another one on Sunday where we're discussing the mining policy. So see you. I don't know if we have a guest tomorrow. I have to look at my calendar. God bless you and God bless our country. We're hosting Mr. Jackson Silavweon, President of Golden Party, and he did very well to speak to the state of the nation, the role of the opposition, and what the opposition needs to do. So God bless you. We'll speak to you tomorrow.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to the people of Zambia. It is very important that sometimes we behave like human beings, even when we know that what we are doing is not correct. I am responding to a long write-up by Dr. Nevas Mumba. I read it first, I've read it second time, and I have read it the third time. He raises a lot of moral issues and state obligations. But I want to say this. What is so painful is trying to align the family as the root cause of these problems. The first question, and the decent question one will ask, how much leverage people like Nevas Mumba, Enoch Kavindele, Leslie Mbula, have they exerted on President Hakainde Hichilema to resolve this matter in the best national interest? How much are they putting in to close the divide? Because they are trying to acquit President Hakainde Hichilema. And conveniently, President Hakainde Hichilema is not commenting on the funeral, but he has unleashed attack dogs to vilify the family in the most unfair manner. The media and certain individuals who have been hired on social media, but they don't want to open up and explain what has led to this impasse? Is it just that the family of Edgar Chagwa is unreasonable and best to say they are a rogue family? Is that true? This problem we face today has a genesis of arrogance and the abuse of state power. ECL has died a very sad man. And the reason is simple, and that's why they are all hiding and using fronts. The president, from day one, when ECL lost the election, he thought and he convinced himself that the people of Zambia voted out ECL because they hated him. And that has proved not to be true, because the strongest critics of ECL while he was in power, and those who supported President Hakainde Hichilema to assume the presidency against all odds, have all gone back and reconciled with ECL before he died. Everybody had a chance to go and show that, Mr. President, we didn't hate you. We didn't like the way you are running the country. This grouping of individuals who resisted ECL, led by Simon Zukas, the late, may he so rest in peace, Emeritus Archbishop Mpundu, they made peace with ECL. And they showed to him that when they opposed him, it was not a personal issue. It was a matter of national interest. John Sangwa, a strong critic, mended up fences with ECL while he was alive. Brebna Changala, I reconciled.
We want to set a precedent. Let them give us reasons why the current president should not go near the casket. And who has told them that he wants to be near the casket anyway? Who has told them that he wants to be near the casket? If they want to say he shouldn't see the body, but who has told them that he wants to see the body? Why these speculations?
Maybe it's because you're arguing that really this must happen. Maybe that's why
it's assumptions. Even the court was asking them, presiding. The court was asking. Their lawyer couldn't explain. Presiding. You yourselves, in your written notes, you were saying Bishop Arik Banda should preside. So why are you now saying the president will preside? You yourselves. So what is presiding? They couldn't take.
He was not just a citizen. He was a head of state. And if somebody says there were issues, yes, there are always issues. But in death, we converge to honor the dead, to bury them decently for the president with all the honors, military honors. After the burial, we talk about anything we're unhappy about.
Who turn this country around. As the provincial chairman said, watch the space. Before the elections, cooking oil in ShopRite, 2.5 liters was 135,000. Yesterday it was 98 kwacha. A tray of eggs, it was at 74 kwacha. Yesterday it was at 59 kwacha. A packet of sugar was at 54, 2 kg, was at 54. Yesterday it was at 38. The newspapers, Times of Zambia, they have never been, they were getting salaries, they were in 7 months arrears. No salaries. Times of Zambia, every day, they used to send back heaps and heaps of newspapers and bought to their headquarters in Ndola. The whole of this week, Times of Zambia, by 9 hours you can't find it in the street. It has been swept. And so for Kabwe office, they have asked their headquarters to increase the volumes of what they are sending. What more can you ask? At you are Fitala station. Unless you are Fitala. Things have changed. That's the beauty with change. And so we want to thank all of you, but we want to make an appeal. There are things you can learn from the election we had. The major one is that let no one determine your destiny. Your destiny is determined by God. Never you be cheated, whether you are a young girl, whether you are an elderly lady and they are telling you, you never get married. Tell them, you are not my creator. You are not God.
How can you allow somebody who has murdered your son or your daughter and you are still mourning to come and attend the funeral and we made to speak at the funeral?
But how good your son
was. And you know about it, you say, wait a minute, what's happening? And I think I can just say the whole thing, I summed it up when I spoke to one guy. I said, the party, friends and all. So I only lamented that why should you be stripping me of these things and then pushing me and saying, no, we want to protect you. No, you see, demeaning of the president to be seen to be going without this or that. I said, I don't need you. You don't need me. So I was very clear. I've not complained at all. The time that I've complained is when I've been harassed. I said, you've stripped me of everything, but leave my liberty, my dignity, and my rights. That's what I'm saying even now. You see, 1 minute, I walk the street, somebody says you can't walk the street because you're a former president, you are in danger of being attacked and people might attack you and will be blamed as police. That's why we're following you. The next minute I said, but you mean you didn't know that I was former president when you stripped me of these things? Please, go and put your house in order. The next minute I want to go to church, somebody goes into church and says,
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuivukisha Kana depotimo Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Abazunga wajita katongi Nakula kuivukisha kateka Naibukubu na kapona Neseko siove pamenso Yangu ama umebaya Kiyaba ume Kiyaba ume Kateka wa wantu Twakulila, lelo twakulila Shika kukonke milimo shove Ale filamba, fiena minta pengo sile Eti kume mo pula dolole avale Lilo wingi, yeah